So you just bought a machine and you want to learn how to sew? Well, you're in luck because today I'm going to be showing you guys 5 easy beginner friendly sewing tutorials. Hi, welcome and welcome back. If you are new, my name is Ruby, and on this channel we do sewing projects, DIY, thread flips, upcycling, everything sewing with a sprinkle of lifestyle. If that's your thing, please go ahead and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to be using this scarf that I've had for a while and didn't know what to do with it. Really liked the print and I thought it would look cute as a hair bow. We're gonna start by folding it in half and then fold it in half again and pin that in place because we want to cut it in the middle. Now we have 2 pieces of the scarf, so we're going to double fold and hem on the side of the scarf that I cut. Taking 1/2 of the scarf, I'm going to fold it and then sew it down and then iron it flat, and I'm gonna fold it over again and then go ahead and iron this. This is going to be our main bow. Now we're gonna take the other piece and also fold it in half, and then we're gonna sew in the middle. This is to just shorten the strip. It was too long for when I put it in my head, so I wanted the, I don't know what they're called, tails of the bow to not be too, so that's what I did here, and I just ironed the seam flat. Now taking the piece that we had cut off, we're gonna fold it into the middle twice and then fold it on top of each other, and we're gonna iron this down. Now we are taking our piece that's going to be the tail or iron down, and this other piece we're gonna use later. We're gonna use our thread and needle, and we're gonna start by just sewing, freestyling on the bow, and we're gonna pull the string to put the bow into shape. After making sure the string is secured, we're gonna take the tails of the bow and we are also going to just freestyle sew in the middle where we did the seam, and we're also going to pull the string and secure it. With the needle still attached to the tail of the bow, we're gonna take the pieces and now put them together. So you're gonna shape them with your hands how you want them, but basically I'm just going to sew them together in the middle, as you guys can see in the video. Now we have the bow together. Now we're going to use the strip that we ironed down to cover up our stitching in the middle of the bow so that it has a nice neat look afterwards. So we're just gonna wrap a piece of it around and secure it with a needle and thread as well. I'm using the lighter on the part that I cut out on the bow because the starting is super fray. I don't want it to keep fraying and getting in my hair. And that's it. We have our little bow, and we're gonna add a hairpin, or you can add a clip with a glue gun if you want. I'm going to be using scraps from a previous project that I've done on the channel. You can go check it out. I made a mini skirt and a matching top. So we're going to find a big piece and then we're going to fold it in half and then cut that piece out. I had made a template for the star, but it turned out too small and it was just perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and freestyle a star while I'm cutting. Do not judge my star. It's not so perfect, but it will do. So after that, we're going to sew around the star and leave one side of the star open. After sewing, this is what we have. So we're gonna turn it inside out using that little part that we left open. After flipping it inside out, this is what we have. So we're gonna use these other scraps to fill it inside. So we're just going to be stuffing it until it's nice and thick and squishy. After stuffing our star, we're gonna take the little open part and fold it inwards, as you can see what I'm doing in the video, and then we're gonna top stitch there and then go all around the star as well so that it looks uniform. After sewing the perimeters of the star, you can just squish it into place however you want it to look, and that is pretty much our star. So we're gonna take a little kitchen loop and then we're just gonna make a little tiny hole with the scissors and just fit it through the top of the star. For this project, I'm using leftover fabric from a shirt thrift tip that I did on my channel. You can check it out as well. So I want mine in a shape of a heart. So I'm going to freestyle draw a heart on the fabric and then cut it out. Heart came out in a decent shape, thank God. So now I'm going to cut along the hemming of the shirt about 2 inches or 1.5 inches, and I'm going to be using this for the frills of the pincushion. So you're going to need about twice the length of the perimeter of the heart of your frill. I did cut a little bit short and I will add a piece on because I ended up running out. So you're also going to need this rectangle. It just should be a bit longer than around your wrist, and we're gonna fold it in half and then sew down. This is going to be our scrunchy part. So now we're gonna turn it inside out and then we're gonna get an elastic that's about the length of our wrist and a little bit tight, comfortably tight. So now we're gonna fit that through our tube with a pin. Make sure that you pin down the end of the elastic on one end so that it does not come out when you pull the other end. We're going to do a straight top stitch on the ends of our tube. After sewing the ends, we're gonna cut off the little excess of the elastic and let's make sure it's all nice and straight, and then we're gonna bring them together and we're gonna do another top stitch. Now I'm going to take one side of the heart and I'm going to sew the scrunchie right in the middle, and this is how it looks like after we've sewn it down. We're gonna take the other heart and then our strip that we're gonna make frills from, we're gonna put it on top of the heart with the frill edges together like that, and then we're gonna start folding our frills and pinning them down. After pinning them down, we're gonna sew all around the heart. After sewing around the heart, you're gonna have this left at the corner of the heart, and we're gonna just put them together right sides and do a top stitch. Now we're gonna take the side of the heart that has the scrunchie and the one with the frillies, and we're gonna stuff everything in the middle of the hearts. So everything must go in between the hearts, and we're gonna sew around and leave a little piece open. Now we're gonna use the little open part to turn our heart inside out. To be taking these square pieces and stuff our heart. Now we're gonna go in and close the little bit that we had left open. So we're just gonna fold it in a little bit and do a top stitch. And now we have our heart-shaped pink cushion. For the coasters, I'm using this fleece leftover material, so we're gonna start out with 2 of the green squares. After making our perfect square, we're gonna cut it in half, and then we're gonna stack the 2 halves and cut them in half as well. Now we have 8 little squares. Now taking the cream material, we're gonna lay the 4 squares and make another square, and we're gonna make 2 of these and cut them up again into 8 equal squares. Now we have a total of 16 small squares. Now we're gonna mix and match them into 4 bigger squares. Now we're gonna take a cream and a green square and put them right sides touching and do a top stitch, and we're gonna do this for all the little squares. After sewing them together, we're gonna have pieces like this, and then now we're gonna take those pieces and put them right sides touching and then do another straight stitch. Now we have bigger squares, and these are now 4 of them. Now we're gonna take 2 squares and put them right sides touching, and we're gonna sew all around and leave a little corner open. After sewing around, we're gonna trim the edges, make sure they're straight, and then clip cut the corners flat so that when we flip it out we have a nice square shape still. After flipping them inside out, we're gonna close the little gap that we left open, fold it inwards and do a top stitch all around the square. And then after that, we're gonna do one in the middle and across the middle, and that is our coasters. I've been wanting this skincare wristbands for a while, and I don't even know if that's the correct term for them. So I'm going to be using this leftover mink material from this blanket I made, and we're gonna cut 2 rectangles and we're gonna fold them right sides touching and sew straight as if we're making scrunchies. Note, I'm not the best girl at making scrunchies. It's not my thing. This is the way I make scrunchies. Now after sewing those tubes down, we're gonna turn them inside out, and I like to use the scissors to make my life easy. Just push it through, and then now we have one side. Now we're gonna use these thick rubber bands. We're gonna make sure they are fitting our wrists comfortably, and then we're gonna fit them through the tube with a pin, and make sure you secure the end of the elastic band so that when you pull it through, it does not come along. Now we are going to take the ends and put the elastic a bit inside and sew straight stitches on both sides. Now putting the two sides together, we're gonna sew a straight stitch, and then we're gonna trim the excess of the fabric, and we're gonna lay that seam one side and do a top stitch so that it lays flat with the wristband. For this bookmark, I'm also using the shirt skirts again. So we're gonna find a nice big piece and fold it in half and make sure we have a nice rectangle that we can cut out. So I'm not really using any measurements, if you guys have seen throughout the whole video, so you can just depend on whatever size you want. So I cut out this rectangle, and then I'm taking this green fleece material and I'm cutting a smaller rectangle that's going to fit into this bigger rectangle. Cutting the fabrics, this is what they're looking like. The fleece must fit inside the pink one a little bit because I wanted to have a little bit of thickness to my bookmark. With right sides touching, we're gonna sew around the rectangle and leave the top part or the bottom part open. After sewing around the rectangle, we're gonna turn it inside out and iron it flat. Now we're going to take our fleece piece and we're going to fit it inside the pink rectangle. Making sure that the green fleece rectangle is laying flat and nicely smooth, we're gonna fold in the top of the part of the rectangle that we had left open. So I'm also going to be adding a little ribbon for holding the bookmark. I'm just gonna cut out a little piece and stuff it on the opening and then do a top stitch all around the rectangle. And here is our bookmark. So I also went in about an inch and did another square stitching around. For a skincare headband, I'm going to be using the stick elastic as our measuring for the amount of fabric that I'm gonna need. So the elastic is big enough to go around my head and sit comfortably. So I put it on the mink fabric and then turn it over and cut out a big rectangle. So we're gonna take the rectangle right sides touching and then sew it into a tube. And then we're gonna cut out a smaller rectangle. This is just going to be the little bow design in front of our headband. Now turning the tube inside out, and then we're gonna take our elastic with the pin and weave it through our tube. Now at the ends, we're gonna do a top stitch, hiding the elastic a little bit inside the tube. Now we're gonna take the two ends and we're gonna put them together and do another straight stitch on, and then we're gonna fold over on each side of the seams and do two straight stitches as well so that it looks neater. And this is basically our band. Now we're gonna take the smaller rectangle and we're gonna fold it right sides touching and sew it into a tube again. Using the piece that we left open in the middle, we are gonna turn it inside out and then we're gonna fold inwards and do a top stitch to close the piece that we had left open. Now to make the little bow, we're gonna squint it in the middle and we're going to take our needle and thread and we're gonna just sew in the middle as we did the bow at the beginning of the time, and then we're gonna sew this onto the bigger band using the needle as well. After sewing on the bow, here is the finished product. I hope you guys enjoyed the 5 easy tutorials and I hope they were helpful to you beginner sewists. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, share to your friends, and if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. What are you waiting for? Like, it's fun over here. If you'd like to watch more of my sewing videos, please go ahead and go onto my channel and I have a lot of playlists for you guys to check out. See you guys in my next video.